living life is gangsta. Hey, hey, 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 love yourself first, explicitly. You owe it to yourself to move with that energy. Empower your self-esteem. Self-love is king. That's the only way to win. That's how you empower your dreams. Living life is gangsta. Hey, hey. Living life is gangsta. Hey, hey. Living life is gangsta. Hey, hey. Living life is gangsta. Hey, hey.
Hey, y'all. Happy Thirsty Thursday, Living Life with Stae. Hey, Chris. Hey, Sheed. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank you to everybody who's over in Facebook land. And as y'all can see, I'm in a little bit of a different environment today. I have decided to get out of my main living area in my house and move to my office. It is so crazy. So we have two offices in the house, one downstairs, one upstairs. Wallace's office is downstairs, my office is upstairs. And we thought that it was really important to have separate offices, especially once we started working together full time. However, I never want to come to my office. Like, it is so crazy. And I don't spend a lot of time in Wallace's office either, but I am just like a kitchen table, couch, bed type of person when it comes to working from home. It's horrible. So I was like, okay, babe, let's move the lights upstairs, do the stuff upstairs. I need to start doing more work from my office. And so that is what I'm doing, because what was happening was my office was turning into a catch-all where I would just bring stuff up here, set it on one of the chairs or whatever. And yeah, but I have a pretty nice office up here, so I need to use it because I was very intentional on how I designed the office. But yeah, then I guess I didn't get bored with it. I don't know what it is. Got all them pictures on the wall. Yeah, so this picture over here is one that Wallace had. He gave me a surprise birthday party several years ago. And this picture was a part of the decor for my birthday party. And then this one over here, I guess y'all can't really see, but this was when I was recognized and honored as a DFW Hidden Treasure honoree. They had this picture at the venue whenever I was honored at that. So definitely wanted to make sure that we hung it up. So it's not a shrine that I created to myself. I did not have either one of these pictures printed. They were both gifts to me, but I just decided to use them in my office because, of course, I'm not vain enough to have had these be, like a part of my home decor. So they are in my own private office. So that's where we are today. And this is where we're going to be most of the time when it's just us. And then we decided that when Wallace and I do the show together, then we'll probably do it from his office because we got these offices in the house. We need to use our offices, but that's not Wallace. It's me. I'm the one who always want to be somewhere else in the house. But hey, y'all. Hey, I'm your girl, Stae Hall. And for those of you who are tuning in and maybe have never been with us before, I am Dolores. I am a life coach, L.Y.F.E, Love Yourself First Explicitly. I am also a certified soft skills and emotional intelligence coach. I'm an author, a mom, a maymay, all the things, and that is what I do. And today on Thirsty Thursday, it is not the type of Thirsty Thursday y'all might be thinking about, but you can grab your beverage. I just got some flavored water here. Ain't nothing exciting, but I like on Thirsty Thursday to talk about things as it pertains to like thirsty for knowledge. And so I like to just drop some business nuggets. I get a lot of requests for different things that people want to talk about, everything from creating your business plan to, what to do with your LLC, things like that. And so today, if y'all haven't already seen, the topic is about the 2-minute branding spotlight, perfecting your entrepreneurial pitch description. And so what that really is the old school elevator speech, right? And so everybody always said that as an entrepreneur, you need to have your 2-minute elevator speech. And so I have been involved in a lot of mentoring lately for different pitch contests through the Black Chamber of Commerce, as well as Prosperity Bank and Girls Inc. I've been a judge, I've been a mentor. And one thing that's really important is knowing that branding spotlight and perfecting that, which means being able to kind of get in and get out, tell people who you are, what you do, what they can expect the results to be in 2 minutes or less, because a lot of times we're in situations where we're not going to have all day. And for most of us who are entrepreneurs, hopefully we're passionate about what we do. So therefore that means we have the capability to talk at length about what we do. Oh, thank you so much, She. Yeah, y'all please hit the thumbs up button for your girl. I appreciate that. But we have the ability to talk at length about what we do. We can go on and on and on because we are passionate about it. But the fact of the matter is, that's not always appropriate. We don't always have that time. And so when we are getting to know people, when we're wanting to introduce our business to them and what we do, we need to be able to give them the most pertinent information as quickly as possible. So it's almost like a TikTok. You know how they say with the TikTok, you need to be able to grab people in the first 5 seconds. That's pretty much what this branding spotlight is going to be about, and perfecting it. And so there's a process that you can go through as far as you want to start off big with all the things, and then you want to get it smaller. So we're going to kind of go through what that process looks like and the things that you need to do and be able to hit all those points so that people are walking away having a pretty good idea about who you are, what you do, what you offer, and what the results they can expect to have. And so we're going to go through that. And we're also going to go through, because y'all might be thinking, when am I going to need this? Like, I'm not going to be in a pitch contest. However, I strongly suggest that if you are an entrepreneur and you've been in business for 5 minutes, Lord have mercy. And I did have a young lady who was in a pitch contest recently, and I asked her a question, and she was like, well, since I've only been in business for about a week. Oh, that was so hilarious to me. But you know, young people, and I'm like, yeah, you really don't need to tell anybody that you've only been in business for about a week, but that was funny. But if you've been in business for 5 years or less, if you have not grossed $50,000 or more in your business in 1 year, then I suggest that you get involved in some of these pitch contests, get involved in some of these cohorts. And the reason why I give the, stipulations on 5 years or less in your business, $50,000 or less in income, is because typically those are some of the things, because they don't want to be out here spending a lot of time and giving a lot of money to people who have been in business for years and years and years and made hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars. These are for our startup businesses. And at that point, when you have 50,000 or less, you have 5 or less employees, you have been in business for 5 years or less. So just think about the fives. That's typically still considered like a new business, a startup business. And so if you find yourself in that situation in your business, then you should start looking for pitch contests, business planning contests, things like that, because there is a lot of free money out there for startup businesses, as well as free education. And the education is priceless. This is actually a bracelet that I got from one of the small businesses that I worked with. And products, I love it. And this is a small business from a middle schooler, y'all. But anyway, if you're considered a small business, these are the people that the financial institutions, the different organizations, the government organizations, different organizations in your city, the chambers of commerce, things like that. Those are the people that they're looking to give this free money to. Those are the people that they are looking to give this free education to. And when I say free money, what I'm saying is you're going to have some skin in the game. They're not just going to write you a check, but you're going to need to be a part of a cohort. You're going to need to go to some classes. There's going to be some tasks you have. You may need to do a business pitch to actually earn the money, but free money just means it's money where you're not going to have to pay it back. Or if there is money that you need to pay back, it's only if you don't do certain things. So you may get this money and it's like, hey, as long as you use the money for this, this, and this, because they want to eliminate people joining things like this, getting the money and just going and buying a Rolex with it, because that's not what it's for. It's to build your business. But as long as you fall within the guidelines, you do what you're supposed to do, then you don't have to worry about paying the money back. So it's a grant, so to speak. So that's what I mean when I say free money. But that doesn't mean that you can just show up and say, hey, I need $10,000. No, they're going to want you to have some skin in the game. They're going to want you to show that you are interested in investing in yourself. So that's why you need to have these branding spotlights perfected. That's why you need to have your pitch together. You always want to be ready. Another reason why you want to have these branding spotlights perfected, another reason why you want to have your 2-minute elevator pitch together is because you never know who you might meet. You never know who you may come in contact with that needs your product or service. And so you don't want to get caught off guard when you're at just a regular birthday party for your friend Susie, and they want to introduce you to their friend Carla, who is in line looking for exactly what it is that you offer. And when you get introduced to this person, they're having to ask you a million questions to find out exactly what it is that you do. Or you're kind of like, no, you want to be able to hit them with all the key points, and you don't want it to sound rehearsed. However, you do want to rehearse it because you want to make sure that you have everything in line, because when you're meeting people on the fly like that, there's a lot of networking and connections that are made, but the people are still there to have a good time. The people still want to party. They want to socialize. They want to kick back. So they don't want to be held up in a corner with you for 30 minutes while you're talking about your business. And so that's why this is important. This is also important because if you're someone who goes to a lot of networking events, you're going to be meeting a lot of people. You want to be able to meet and connect with as many people in the room as possible, which means you need to have your stuff together. You don't want to spend half of the event talking to one person. You want to be able to talk to several people. So say what you have to say, let them know who you are, what you offer, and what the results they can expect. Have your couple of little pleasantries and move on to the next person. That's what networking events are about. So many people don't understand networking, and they look at networking as the same thing as socializing. Like it's a social gathering to kind of like take the edge off and not make it seem so stuffy. But everybody in that room is there to connect and meet with people to see how they can collaborate. But then you also sometimes at these networking events, depending on who's hosting them, you might have some decision makers in the room who are actually looking to make connections to do business with people. And so you want to make sure that you have your stuff together, and you don't want to have to spend a whole lot of time doing a Q&A. And so these are the reasons why having this elevator pitch, as they used to call it back in the day, having this branding spotlight perfected are so key, because you want to make sure that every single time you get the opportunity to share your business, to share your platform, whatever your products and services are, you want to make sure that you are always prepared to give people the information that they need. And so, for instance, here's a version of my elevator pitch of my 2-minute branding spotlight. I meet somebody. Hi, my name is Stae Hall. I'm the CEO of iSalt. At iSalt, we are professional development, leadership development, and career development company with an emphasis on soft skills and emotional intelligence. Our main focus is to help people to live at their highest level of self and be able to reach the level of success they desire and deserve through soft skills and emotional intelligence coaching. When people go through our coaching, they are able to enhance the skills that they already have and be able to be integral parts of society while moving along the corporate ladder. That would be one of my 2-minute elevator pitches. And when I'm saying those things, people know who I am. They know the name of my company. They know what my company does. They know who our target audience is and what they can expect the result to be. And so those are things that you want to say. Hi, my name is Stae Hall. I'm a life coach. Life, L-Y-F-E, stands for love yourself first explicitly. In my coaching, it is very important to me that people understand that the foundation to any success, whether personal or business, starts with loving yourself. When people come to me for coaching, they can expect to understand the true meaning of self-love and be able to operate in that self-love every single day, with the ability to then be able to operate from a full cup while helping themselves and still allowing them to be there for others. So again, those are the things that I say. I'm just hitting those key points. I'm getting in, I'm getting out. And so now, if people have any questions, at least the questions are going to be specific. They don't have to ask me, what do I do? Well, what does a life coach mean? Oh, well, what are soft skills and emotional intelligence? Well, how can soft skills and emotional intelligence help? I'm getting all of those preliminary questions out of the way. So what I want you all to do, for those of you who are entrepreneurs, and even if you are a content creator who just wants to be able to invite people to your channel, invite people to your page, invite people to your platform, you want to be able, when people ask you what you do these days, so many things are so saturated. We need to be able to hit the people with details. When you used to ask somebody back in the day what they were, they would say a content creator. You didn't know much about content creation. Content creation was kind of new. And so people might have some questions, but these days people assume a lot. If you say you're a content creator or you're an influencer, people really don't like influencer anymore. But you as a content creator or an influencer want to be able to tell people why you stand out from other content creators and influencers. So if someone asks you what you do, or if you're introducing yourself, I'm Stae Hall. What do you do? I'm a content creator. Well, what do you mean content creator? Well, I create content for women of a certain age to help them be able to live at their highest self. I love to reach as many people as I can with the message of self-love, clarity, self-esteem, soft skills, and emotional intelligence. Again, it's not like, well, I just vlog. Oh, well, I do content on certain things, or I just do content for women 40 plus. Well, women 40 plus, or what? Is it for health and fitness? Is it for mental wellness? Is it for empty nesters? What is it? So you're giving people information. So then, like I said, if they have questions, they're going to be a little bit more detailed questions that can go into a more in-depth conversation rather than them asking you the surface things. And so even as a content creator, you want to let people know where your content is. Content creator where? On Facebook, on TikTok, on YouTube, Instagram, all of them, whatever. And how can I find you? And so when you give this 2-minute elevator pitch, you also want to make sure that at the end of it, that you are giving them some way to contact you. However, pro tip is always ask them how you can contact them first. Get their information first so that you make sure you have that. You never leave the ball in their court for them to reach to you. You want to make sure that they have your information, but once you give that information, you give your pitch, you say, I would love to be able to chat with you further. Do you have a card? Do you have a digital card? Some way that I could connect? Maybe we can go for coffee. Maybe we could do a Zoom call. They give the information and then you give your information, because you always want to make sure that the ball is in your court. I just put the link in the chat. I usually forget that until about this time when I feel like I've been talking y'all to death. I'm like, let me put the link in the chat. So if anybody has any questions for me, if anybody has anything that they want to share, if anybody has an elevator pitch that they already have and would like to see how it works for the group, if anybody would like any critique on their elevator pitch, please feel free to join me on stage, because it is way more important than you would think. True stories for me, which is so funny, y'all, that I said true story. So this, look, I'm going to jump out on the tangent. So yesterday was Juneteenth, and we, 2 of the adult kids came over and we did, like our soul food cooking. We celebrated Juneteenth, whatever. And then towards the end of the evening, we decided just to sit down and do some Netflix and chill. And so the kids turned me on. They know that I'm into like crime TV and like prison shows and stuff like that. Yeah, y'all, that's my jam. That's what I like to do in my free time. So they turned me on to this docu-series called Unlocked. And I normally watch lockup. Well, this one is called Unlocked. I'm not going to give it away because I hate when people give stuff away to me. I'm just going to tell y'all enough that you'll know whether or not you're interested. But it is a prison docuseries. It is a true story, filmed in real time. If you watch Lockup on MSNBC, it's very similar, but this is Unlocked, but they are in a prison. But there's a guy in the story who's in prison. His name is Raymond, but one of his nicknames is True Story because whenever he's talking, he's always like, true story, true story. So it was just funny when I said true story. But true story, I have been able to secure multiple speaking engagements based off of my 2-minute branding spotlight speech. I just as recently as this week, y'all, true story, where I was just asked to stand up and introduce myself. And I told them who I was, what I do, and the results that they can expect and who my target audience is. As soon as the event was over, I had someone come and ask me, was I available to do a speaking engagement? That's simple. They didn't even have any questions. What they said to me was, I love what you do and I loved what you had to say, and our organization needs that. True story. And that's happened to me on more than one occasion, but this just happened this week. And so that's why it is so important. You did not have to tell them that was today, but it was today. It happened today. I said this week. But yes, that happened today. Hey, Jamia, how are you? Wallace is so funny. He always going to tell all my business. But yeah, that actually happened to me today. And it's happened to me on other occasions as well, because when you are confident in what you do and you're able to hit those points, and again, you don't have to say it robotically. It can sound very conversational. That's why it's important to really get in, right? True story. That's why it's important to write it down and edit yourself. And so this is one of the things that I want y'all to do. I want you to get a piece of paper and write down, like, your name is going to be easy. Okay. Stae Hall. Our names are our name, but you always want to start with your name. I'm Stae Hall. And whatever your position is. For me, I'm the CEO of iSalt, and you are the CEO, the founder, the director, or whatever it is that you do, because you also want them to know not only who you're talking to in name, who you're talking to in position, because they want to know, how closely are you tied to this business? Is this your business? Whatever. And so you want to give your name, your title, and your position, and then you want to say what you do. That sometimes can be difficult for a lot of people for a couple of different reasons. Sometimes it's difficult for people because they themselves don't even really know how to explain what they do. And so it's really hard for them to narrow it down to the key points. Well, when you're saying what you do, just remember, you're not teaching this person how to do what you do. You're just giving, in layman terms, the most basic of what you do, just so they can have an understanding. When I give my 2-minute elevator speech, when I do my 2-minute branding spotlight, I don't tell people, I do coaching for individuals as well as groups. I do everything from executive coaching to intro-level employee coaching. I also can help with onboarding. I, have retainers with several different companies. I don't get into all that. And so don't overthink it. What I do is I am a soft skills and emotional intelligence coach. That's what I do. And so that's what I want you to think about: what your name is, what your position is, and what you do. Now, as I go further, because when I say a soft skills and emotional intelligence coach, some people may not understand what that is. So now I'm going to explain what that is. But again, in layman terms and very basic, just stating that what I do is I help people reach the level of success that they desire and deserve through teaching them soft skills and emotional intelligence. And then I can say things like conflict resolution, team building, effective communication, active listening. So I'm just giving a couple of bullet points. So whether you are a mechanic, whether you work in HVAC, whether you have a mobile dog grooming company, whatever it is, just think of a couple of key points. And the thing is, I don't want you to eliminate key points because you think things are obvious, because that's not always obvious. So if you do have a mobile dog grooming company, for instance, you'll say, I'm Stae Hall and I am the CEO of Fluffy Puppy, a mobile dog grooming company where we are able to go to people's homes who may not have the time, they may not be able to get their dogs to the groomers, or maybe they don't trust their dogs at the groomer, maybe they have dogs with anxiety. So again, just a couple of points, because the first thing somebody might think when you say I'm a mobile dog groomer, they may be thinking, well, what is that? Why would I need a mobile dog groomer? I could just take my dog to PetSmart. But if you put out a couple of key points, then they may think about it like, you know what, my dog does get a little anxious when I take him to the groomer, or you know what, it's not always easy to get appointments when I need them, or you know what, let me think about that for my elderly mother who is not very mobile, and that's a task that we can take off. So you want to give people just a couple of key points to make them realize why they may need you, because that happens in a lot when people think, well, I just do this and people are going to know. If they need me, they need me. If they don't, they don't. I'm just an HVAC. And those are the reasons why when you're building your business and doing things, even if you are in a saturated market, you want to figure out what those couple of things are that you offer that maybe no one else in your industry is offering. You always want to make sure that you're set apart. And with that being said, that set apart is going to be one of the key things that you want to make sure that you mention in this 2 minutes. Because again, we are in this TikTok, and it's so funny because it used to be a microwave society, which I believe it still is, but now it's the TikTok society. Because it is funny to me when I do my research on my TikToks, I'm always, people are saying you need to catch them in the first 5 seconds. And I'm like, in the first 5 seconds. But for those of you who follow me on TikTok, I don't know who all on here may follow me on TikTok. So I'm going to make this a little quiz. If you follow me on TikTok, I'm going to know by this. How do I start each and every one of my TikToks? And I've been doing it for like the past year or so. Anybody who follows me on TikTok, y'all should definitely know this. All right, I'm going to give it a couple of minutes. I wish I had a prize up here that I could say I was going to give you if you got it. And meanwhile, Cece probably don't even participate because she's still waiting on me to send her prize. I just told on myself, I'm so horrible with mail and stuff. But don't none of y'all follow me on TikTok. And Wallace, you cannot answer this. If y'all don't follow me on TikTok, y'all ought to be ashamed. I need y'all to go on over to the good tickety-tockety and follow your girl. TikTok is where I really thrive, y'all. I have over 15,000 followers on TikTok. I'm not a TikToker. Hey, Susanna, how are you, Ladybug? All right, so y'all don't follow me on TikTok. Whatever, I'm going to try to find some forgiveness in my heart. I'm just kidding. But on every one of my TikToks, I start with saying, I'll tell you what. And I came up with that because I heard somebody else say it in a conversation, and it just kind of tickled me. And so for that whole weekend, when I started talking, I was like, I tell you what, blah, 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 blah. So that ended up being my little tagline on TikTok, which is how I grasp people's attentions. Crystal, thank you, boo. And I know you follow me on TikTok, so I know you didn't cheat. Yes, I tell you what, because that to me will grab people's attention. And so you want to have something that's going to be able to grab people's attention within that 2-minute elevator pitch, within that, 2-minute branding spotlight, just something that sets you apart from other people, because we do have to grab people's attention. For me, I grab a lot of people's attention just when I say soft skills and emotional intelligence, because it's not something that people hear a lot of people talking about. But if there's something that you do or something that you could say, I know doing the C-Rona, a lot of people who were in different service industries were able to set themselves apart because they were able to say things that they do to make sure that they have the most caution whenever they're doing their work. So if these were people who came in and did house cleaning, if these are people who were doing catering, if these are people who were working on air conditioners, carpet cleaners, a lot of them were setting themselves apart when they would give the key points of what they are doing to make sure that their service is the most safe, the most sanitary possible. And so they would give key points like, our technicians always have on shoe covers, they wear masks, things like that. So whenever you're doing this 2-minute speech, you want to make sure that you are including those things. Now, for me as well, I also on TikTok, I have an ending where when I end every one of my TikToks, I say, I'm just saying. However, it's so funny that some lady this week on my TikTok commented and said that the I'm just saying part sounds like I'm insecure and passive aggressive. I don't know what that means, but TikTok is ruthless out in them TikTok streets. It is not for the faint of heart. If you don't have a thick skin, don't even do TikTok. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm talking fast. That's that East Coast. Mouth get dry. All that talking, all that air going in. But yeah, TikTok is not for the thin skin. However, yeah, that's what she told me. But that's how I end everyone. I'm just saying. And so I have my beginning and I have my end. And that's very similar to this 2-minute speech that you want to give. And so my ending a lot of times with my 2-minute elevator speech is going to be that I help people reach the level of success that they desire and deserve. You will not even be able to imagine how many times I've said that line. And you would also not be able to imagine how many people remember that line for me. So many people who are now my one-on-one coaching clients, a big part of why they came to me is because at some point they heard me say that I help people reach the level of success that they desire and they deserve. And they had never really heard anybody say that before. And so they wanted to talk to me because they're like, that's exactly what I've been looking for. How can you help me reach that level of success that I desire and deserve? Because I've been working on it for this long and I'm still not there, but you're telling me that you can do that. And so you want to have those little things that you say that are going to stick in people's minds. For the people who follow me on TikTok, thank you, Crystal. I have had people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area at different events walk up to me and say, I tell you what, because they equate that with me. So you want to have your little tagline. You want to have your little catchphrase. You want to have your little points. And again, it doesn't have to be cheesy. I'm on TikTok when I'm doing it. So a lot of times I'm just like, I tell you what, and it's real playful and it's whatever. But even in business, it doesn't have to be something like that. But you need to have things that you're saying that are going to intrigue people, things that they're going to remember about you. Like, we remember certain things with McDonald's. It's ba-da-ba-ba-ba, loving it. Like we know that when we hear that. There are all different kinds of brands that all we have to hear is one phrase and we know exactly what people are talking about. And that's what I want you all to realize as small business owners and as entrepreneurs. You need to play like the big guys. So we talked last week just about branding in general. And I talked to y'all about, having your logo together, having your branding colors, making sure that you have something that people are going to recognize and say, oh, that's Stae. Again, y'all see in my little emoji up there, I have my blue color. This is something I'm going to show y'all later today. But y'all see that color is here. On my book covers, it's that color. Because that's what the big companies do. We recognize companies by their logos, by their colors. So those big companies were at one time small companies. Don't be out here necessarily trying to reinvent the wheel. When you see something worked, do that thing. Just do it in your own way. But don't think that you can get away without branding. Don't think that you can get away without having some kind of catchphrase. No, the reason why McDonald's does that, the reason why all these big companies do that is because it works. If it didn't work, people wouldn't keep doing it. The reason why Starbucks has that logo that everybody recognizes, so much so we go and spend money to have their logo on our cup that we carry around, because that logo means something to us. And so when it is in that branding, make sure that you're thinking about that in your speech. What am I going to say to every single person that I encounter newly, who I am introducing myself to? What are those things that I'm going to say? And so even though this is just like a quick 2-minute speech, this is just an introduction, it takes a lot of work, because people are going to be on one side or the other. Either you're going to be that person who uses a bunch of words and you just don't know what to cut out. It's going to take you some time to edit yourself. Keep reading it. And this is the thing too. You have to be careful when you're rehearsing this 2-minute speech, because I want y'all to time yourselves, because again, 2 minutes, we're dealing with people's attention spans. We're dealing with people's time. They don't have the energy to sit there and talk to you for 30 minutes. I promise you that. However, I want you to take your time enough when you're saying it so that they understand what you're saying. So when you're practicing it, I need you to be honest in how you say it and how you deliver it. I want you to take your time. I want you to articulate. I'd rather you have to cut something out than to try to cram a bunch of stuff in and then you sound like an auctioneer. Just, hello, my name is Stae Hall. I'm CEO of iSalt. I do soft skills and emotional intelligence. Because you also don't want somebody at the end say, what? No, I didn't get that. Like, no. So you want to practice it. But also, if you're somebody who doesn't use a lot of words and you find yourself with struggling to find your words, then you want to write it down. And then you want to edit yourself like in reverse and add things. Think about how great your business is. Think about the outcomes that you've gotten from people. Think about some of the accolades you've gotten from people, whoever have been your past customers. And that's another reason why it's really good to always do surveys and ask for reviews. You want to know what people think about your services. You want to know what people think about your products. And oftentimes when we're talking about the results aspect of this 2-minute speech, we can get a lot of those based on the feedback we've gotten from other people. Don't be afraid of feedback, y'all. Feedback is so important in an organization, in a business, as an entrepreneur, because we're not perfect. So we should not be afraid of negative feedback. And just because we got the feedback, you also use your own discernment. It's not that every single complaint somebody has means you need to do something different. You need to adjust it. But you know yourself, and you should be able to be mature enough to recognize your areas for growth, your areas for improvement. But on the flip side of that, that feedback, those surveys, those reviews are also ways for you to see what you are doing very well. What are people liking about what you do the most? What are the results that people are the most surprised by? What are the results that people are most satisfied by? You want to know what people are saying about you in business. And then you have to have that tough skin, that thick skin, and then be able to look at it from a business lens. It ain't personal. It's just business. And we are out here in business to make money. The only way we're going to make money is to give excellent service, to give excellent products. And the only way we're going to know how people really think about our service and our products is to ask them in some way, shape, or form. So get those surveys, ask for those reviews, do what you need to do, because it can help you in a lot of ways. And you are typically going to get way more good than bad. And if you get more bad than good, you need to know that as well, because it means that you know, you need to go to work. You need to go to work. You need to do some things. You don't want to have a product and service that don't nobody want. You need, which we talked about last week, repeat customers. Business is built on word of mouth and repeat customers. And the only time you're going to get word of mouth is when you have somebody who wants to be a repeat customer. People are not going to send somebody to you if they have no desire to go back to you. So a lot of what I say about myself is based on what other people have told me. I don't say that I give these results just because I believe I can give these results. I say I can give these results because I know I've given these results based on the people who have had my coaching, based on the people who have gone through my programs, based on the people who have sat through my training sessions. And then I do the surveys and I ask for the feedback, and that's what I get. And they'll say, because of my 6-week life coaching sessions with you, this is what I've learned about myself. This is what I've moved on and be able to do. this is what I have accomplished. Because I have do the surveys, I've had companies call me and say, oh my gosh, Stae, after you came and did that seminar for our employees, this is the productivity improvement we've seen. Or they're asking for you to come back next week. People said that when you spoke about mindset, that is something that they never really thought of as it pertained to their job. When you talk to them about the fact that they are each other's customers and how they should treat each other in conflict resolution. Oh my goodness, we have seen such an improvement in morale and team building and how people work together. So that is why I'm able to say that's what I do. It wasn't just because I thought I could. That's how it started. But where I am now, I know I can. And so I'm able to brag about it. I'm able to give my pitch. That's a part of my branding now. I have the results. So don't be afraid to ask people. And if you're already getting surveys, if you already have reviews, if you're already getting feedback, that is a good place to start when you're looking for what are the key points that I want to make sure that I mention whenever I am doing this 2-minute elevator pitch, whenever I have the opportunity to introduce myself to someone and I am hoping to gain business or create connections. Because you also know all business isn't about just getting a customer or a client. It's also about other business owners, other decision makers seeing you and what you offer and seeing how you can add value to what they're doing, how you can collaborate. It makes people want to introduce you to their people, to their tribe. And that is how you grow your business, because you need customers, but again, you need people to bring you those customers and clients. And so you have to look at the benefit of all different types of relationships, but it's just important that you're able to tell people what it is that you do. And there's a lot of people who just are not able to do that, or they discount what they do. So we talk about doing this 2-minute branding spotlight, this 2-minute elevator pitch. And this is when we're meeting people face to face, whether it's on Zoom or at a networking event or at a social gathering where we've been introduced to somebody. But there's also times when you have to do it in writing. And so that's what we're going to talk about next. But y'all are quiet over there, so I need y'all to put a 1 in the chat. Y'all know how I do. Put a 1 in the chat if you're picking up what I'm putting down so far. So hopefully y'all quiet because y'all taking notes. Hopefully y'all quiet because you're really getting something from this. But I need a 1 in the chat if y'all picking up what I'm putting down so far. Hit me with that 1 so I can know that y'all ain't over there asleep on this good Thursday. And then we're going to move on into how we do it in writing. Because one thing that I've noticed is there are a lot of, thank you, Jamia, there are a lot of virtual and email introductions going on now, where back in the day, most introductions, that's all right, girl, that's all right. There ain't no, I mean, hey, I'm just glad you're here. I am glad you're here. Hey there, how are you, Miss Christine? Thank you for that 1. And so in this day and age, there are a lot of virtual introductions, meaning people are emailing introductions, people are texting introductions. They're saying, hey, Stae, I know this lady, Sarah, I think that y'all would work great together. This is what she does. And based on what she does and what you do, I think y'all would work great together. Or there are other people who are like, oh my gosh, Stae, I went through your 6-week life coaching program and I gained so much about it. And I was telling one of my coworkers about it and they're interested in meeting with you. And what they'll do is say, I'm going to put y'all on a group email or a group text and I want to introduce you all. And that has been something that I have run into with a lot of my recent life coaching clients, where they're not really sure how to respond or interact with this paper introduction, with this electronic, with this written type of introduction, because you're not meeting anybody face to face. It's almost like just a warm transfer. And so a way to do that is there's 2 different ways. When it is more of an introduction that is not very, like it's not a super professional thing, it's more laid back, then you want to hit them with your 2-minute elevator speech, but in writing, but you don't want it to sound salesy, because you have to remember when we're doing this in writing, then we are leaving the tone and everything up to that person. So you want to make sure that you're not coming across trying to sell them anything. So you always want to, in those virtual or electronic type of introductions, the first thing you want to do is greet both people when you are responding. And I have some people who are always afraid to respond because it's like, okay, well, they're introducing me to this person, but I'm going to wait and let them respond first. Quit leaving stuff up to other people. We don't know what these people have going on. We don't know what type of personality they have. They may be thinking the same thing as you. And so now nobody responds, or maybe they didn't even see the first email. So you respond, and now all of a sudden the email pops up at a better time. Quit leaving your business in other people's hands. You have to step out of your comfort zone. And the worst thing that can happen is somebody is either not going to respond at all, or they're going to respond and say that they're not interested. That is not the end of the world. And let me tell you, I've never had that happen. I've had a couple of times where people didn't respond at all, but I've never had anybody respond and say, oh, I don't want to meet you, or I'm not interested in talking to you. I don't want to. No, that's not going to happen, because people who are doing this is usually people who are used to this type of thing, or the people who are referring you or introducing you know that this person will more than likely be interested in the reason why they're introducing. So when you respond to this, you want to respond to both people. So say, for instance, if I have my friend Jody who is introducing me to Crystal. And so Jody's going to write the email, hey, Crystal, I just wanted to virtually introduce you to my girl, Stae. She's a life coach. I think y'all would be able to collaborate well together, or I think maybe she would be able to help you out with some of the things that you and I have been discussing, whatever. You guys have each other's information. And then that other person kind of wants to be out of it at that point. They've made the introduction. And so you want to go ahead and be the first one to respond if you can. At least, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're first, but you definitely don't want to wait and see it and be like, okay, well, let me just see what they say. No, but when you respond, you want to greet both people. So you want to say, hey, Jody, hey, Crystal. And you want to say first, at first, you want to address the first person. Crystal, so nice to informally meet you via email. Then address the second person. Jody, thank you so much for making this virtual connection. That is perfect, just to kind of get out there. You're being friendly. You're addressing both people. Nice to meet you. Thanks for making the connection. And then you want to just say something brief. Crystal, I definitely look forward to meeting you in the future. Hopefully we can get something on the calendar. I am really passionate about soft skills, emotional intelligence, and helping people reach the level of success they desire and deserve. And I would love to chat with you more about this. And that's it. That's your 2-minute elevator pitch. Boom, you're done. But it's in writing. You don't want to just say, hey, thanks for connecting us. Nice to meet you. Because now they're thinking, okay, so why are we meeting? You don't know if this person, the other person, has told them I'm going to be sending the email. You don't know if they've already discussed it at all. They might not have any idea why, because all Jody said is, I really think, y'all would be able to collaborate. Well, collaborate on what? You know what I'm saying? So you want to give a couple of things, because that would then jog their memory, like, oh my gosh, life coach. Oh my gosh, emotional intelligence, soft skills. Thank you so much, Jody. That's what I've been looking for. So you want to give them a little bit of something. And so you always want to be thinking, when you're meeting people, whether you're meeting them electronically via email, via text, or if you're meeting them in person, when it's something about business. I'm not saying when you're just somewhere and somebody is like, oh, this is my cousin Scott. Oh, hey, Scott, I'm Stae Hall, CEO of iSolve. No. We have to know when it's appropriate and when it's not. But when you know that the introduction is based on something in business, no matter how that introduction is given, whether it's in writing or it is verbally, you want to be able to give people those points. Now, when it is something that's more extensive, if somebody is connecting you via email to someone who is the leader of a corporation, who is a decision maker, who they are trying to connect you with as far as you doing work, business to business, then you might want it to be a little bit more formal. And in that case, you could still make the email pretty much the same as far as, thank you for making this connection. So nice to virtually meet you. I would love to be able to chat with you in more detail about how we could work together. But you always also want to attach your resume, so to speak. And when you're in business, your resume looks a little bit different than when you are just trying to get an actual corporate job. So we know when we're trying to get a corporate job, you want to hit those bullet points, but you're going to be talking about your education, all the places you worked, what you did at those jobs, how many years you worked there. Those are the things that employers are looking for. But when you're doing B2B, which is business to business, you are a business owner trying to do business with another business owner, or you're connecting with a decision maker in that business to do business, that resume is going to look a little bit different. They don't care about the fact that you worked at the Piggly Wiggly for this many years and that you were the manager of the seafood department or whatever. They want to know specifically about you and what it is that you can offer them in the capacity that you're in today. And with that, instead of a resume, you want to get something together that is called a one sheet. So y'all put a 2 in the chat if anybody has ever heard of, or if anybody has a one sheet. Because when I first got into business and my coach told me to prepare a one sheet, I'd never heard of a one sheet before. So I'm always just curious to know, was I the only one who ain't noticed when I was new in business, or did y'all not know either? So put a 2 in the chat if you know what a one sheet is. Nobody knows what a one sheet is. I didn't either. So I don't feel bad. Now somebody going to slip up a 2, but not for now. We're going to say we all in the same boat. We didn't know what a one sheet is. Well, this is, okay, I've never heard of it. Okay. So this is a one sheet. And so as y'all can see, I have 2 separate one sheets, but they look very similar because we know it's about the branding. So as y'all can see, that whether I'm talking about iSalt or whether I'm talking about my book, Running for Your Life, the colors are going to basically be the same because it's still me and I am one brand. On this one sheet is going to show people who I am, give them the name of my business, and then I'm just going to hit some key points on here. So this one, we'll use the one for iSalt, but this one is for Running for My Life. So I would use this one mainly whenever people were reaching out to me for speaking engagements for like women's conferences, church events, brunches, and things like that, where it really wasn't business as far as the emotional intelligence. This is more about the love yourself first explicitly. So when I'm talking to groups and I'm doing things like that, or when I'm on panel discussions for women's groups, I use this one. And this one is going to be more when I'm doing my personal coaching for leadership development, soft skills, emotional intelligence. And so with my one sheet, somebody can see this is my resume as a business owner, what I do. And so it has my name, the name of my business, and then it has a little bit about who I am. So it's just a short bio so people can get to know who I am, and more so why I do what I do. That's what this bio is. This bio is not like an obituary type of bio. It's not a bio that's telling people, I was born by the river in a little tent. It's not that kind of thing. This is a bio saying, why is there an iSalt? Why do I do what I do? And then it's going to give them a little bit of a blur of what my main topics are. So we talk about soft skills, building business relationships, coping, teamwork, and then it'll tell the other things that I've done in other companies that I've worked with. And so this is my elevator pitch in writing because I haven't been able to talk to this person. So I've been introduced to them via email. And so I'm saying, hey, nice to virtually meet you. Hey, thank you for introducing me to this person. I'm looking forward to chatting with you later. Please find attached my one sheet, which will give you a little bit more detailed information about who I am and what I do and the results you can expect. That is what this is about. Because again, we never know if we're going to have another opportunity. And so you want to hit people with as much information that you can in the shortest amount of time that you can, giving them all the details, but not too many details, so that they can make a decision as to whether they want to take the relationship forward. Again, I'm not going to hit them with a bunch of statistics. I'm not going to hit them with 5 different attachments, giving them my whole catalog of work, giving them my whole catalog of courses. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to give them this one little sheet that gives them my branding. I feel like it's eye-catching. That's why I have these colors. I don't know if y'all agree, but I did a lot of research to find out whether or not these were good colors that people, are attracted to, and just give them my key information. And then at the bottom of this, it's going to give my website, my name, my telephone number, and my email address. So they have everything. They just make one click. This is going to pop up, because a lot of people make the mistake of trying to, again, send people somewhere. They'll do the email and then say, go to my website for more information. People don't want to have to do the second thing. People don't want to have to go to plan B. People want everything that you want them to have right then and there. Let me see. Video saved and shared. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. People want you to take them where you want them to go. Don't leave it up to them. And so just an attachment that they can click on, and boom, everything's there. And guess what? If they're interested, if they want to go a step further, then they may go to your website. So you want to make sure that they have that information. But people love the convenience of being able to see everything or hear everything in a short amount of time, because then they know you value their time, first of all. And then they also know that you know your business. It don't take you all day to tell them why they want to do business with you, or what you have to offer, or why it would be good to collaborate. They get enough to then decide whether or not they want to take it to the longer conversation. And so you want to make sure, if you don't have something like this already together, and again, it doesn't matter whether you have a regular business or whether you are doing everything strictly online as a content creator. If you're looking to collaborate with other people, those of you who have YouTube channels and you want to collaborate with other YouTubers and you're trying to invite them to your platform, it's great to be able to give them something like this. Last time I also showed y'all my not my one sheet, but my media kit. That is something great to send out to people as well when you're looking to collaborate on social media. But you always want to have something that you can either say to people or give to people, where they're getting the whole picture of who you are as quickly as possible. Because again, in this TikTok microwave society, you just got a couple of seconds. When my social media person told me, yeah, with TikTok, you got to make sure you can get them within the first 5 seconds. I'm like, who makes a decision within the first 5 seconds? Because I know when I first started, I saw, and we were doing, which I need to do some new research, because clearly things have changed. It was like people's average attention span was like 7 minutes. And so that's why we started our SIPS method. So everything that we do as far as our online portal for iSalt, the modules are very short. They're going to be 8 minutes or less, because we wanted to make sure that we were making the most impact in the shortest amount of time, where we know that people are actually going to be receiving the information. But now people talking about in the first 5 seconds, I got to see what this attention span is now. But that's what it is. We are fighting with the internet. We are fighting with social media. And in order to be able to stay relevant, in order to be able to grasp people's attention and get our message across, we have to fit into those time limits. And it's like when they talk about, getting your attention, but you think about it, when TikTok first came out, I think the videos were only 60 seconds long. And now they can go up to 10 minutes, depending on how many followers you have. And so I can go up to 10 minutes on my videos, but I never do. Most of the time, my videos are going to be between 1.5 to 2 minutes long. That's it. Y'all know on the YouTube shorts, they're only 60 seconds long. And I don't really know how I feel about that as a society. The fact that we keep minimizing things, making them smaller and smaller and smaller. Good night, Chris. Have a good one. Thank you so much for being here. Making them smaller and smaller and smaller. But, I guess we're kind of trying to meet people where they are. But I'm like, do we really need everything to be so quick? But one thing about being an entrepreneur, being a content creator, is you kind of got to go with the flow. What do the people want? And if they want their information in 30 seconds, we have to figure out how to give them that information in 30 seconds. There is nothing worse than standing and talking to somebody about your business in a networking event, and you can just see them looking over your shoulder because they want to go and talk to somebody else, and they feel like you're holding them hostage. They want to keep it moving because they're in there for the same reason as you are. And, when we're on these YouTube streets or whatever, we know watch time is a big deal. And I don't know how many of y'all realize this either. The watch time, You want to make videos to a length where people will watch the whole thing. And if you notice, when they rank your videos, for me, I noticed a long time ago that I would have videos that the watch time would be really high, but the video was long. But I would make shorter videos and it seemed like people watched more, but my watch time seem to be less. And so it's like finding that sweet spot of just how long will people pay attention. And unfortunately, we're in the day and age where they're paying attention for shorter and shorter amounts of time. And there's more people doing the same thing that we're doing. There's more people offering the same products and services. There's more people out here vlogging. There's more. And so you have to be able to let people know right away why you are set apart from other people, and right away why I'm the person for you. And so that's what that 2-minute elevator speech is about. That's what that branding spotlight is about, is because I want to be able to see y'all grow and go and reach the level of success that you desire and deserve. I want you to feel comfortable when you're being introduced to people and know and feel confident in the message that you're conveying. I don't want you walking away from people wondering, you know, I wonder if they really understand what I do, or I wonder if they're going to reach back out to me. No, I want you to be confident. And so I wish that we were in an actual session, because in my actual sessions, I would be having y'all writing those elevator pitches and then doing it in front of the whole group. But since we are on social media, I can't really hold anybody to that. But if anybody would like to come up and give us their elevator pitch, I am here for it. But I do want y'all to take time. And you know, I'm always accessible. My email address is in the description box of every one of my videos. So if you have an elevator pitch written out and you just want to run it by me, I don't mind it at all. You can email it to me and I will get to it as soon as I can. And you also know that there's always the opportunity to work with me one-on-one. I do 20-minute complimentary consultations just to find out if I am a good fit for you and if I'm able to help you with whatever your life goals are. And if you want to take it further, I do offer the 6-week life coaching programs, which are absolutely phenomenal. And we can just take a deep dive into what your success goals are and what that looks like and how I can help you be able to do the things that you need to achieve those. And again, if you're interested in taking this offline and meeting with me one-on-one, just hit me with an email. Let me know. We can get something on the calendar, because that is really what my desire is to do. I love being able to help people just dig within themselves, because everything that you need to get the success that you need is already there. When you have the passion and the drive and you're just kind of stuck somewhere, that's what a coach is for, just to help you find what you already have and then find how to utilize it. Some people know what their talents and skills are, but they just don't know how to utilize it, or they don't know how to market it. They don't know how to work it to their benefit. And that's what a coach does for you. So always feel free to shoot me an email, and we can see how I can be of assistance or add value to what you have going on. But I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Hopefully I was able to drop some nuggets that will help you in your future endeavors with your business, because we all need that support. We all need these little tips and tricks. So much of this stuff that I tell y'all is because somebody else had to tell me. So that's what I'm here. I'm never going to be the gatekeeper. I'm never going to be that hoarder of information. I absolutely love to share. So y'all know the drill. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here. Always be kind and love one another, but never forget to live your life. L-Y-F-E. Love yourself first explicitly. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.
Living like a Stae. Hey, hey. 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 Love yourself first explicitly. You owe it to yourself to move with that energy. Empower your self-esteem. Self-love is king. That's the only way to win. That's how you empower your dreams. Living like a